Maniacs, welcome. Happy, I don't know, February? Happy, happy new episode. Look at this merry, collective of human beings to be here for episode 112 of Soundcasting Network's very own video game podcast, where your argument is
Invalid.
It's invalid.
invalid. Thank you very kindly. We are brought to you by the illustrious... God, I'm so bad at framing this. There it is. Thank you. Voodoo Ranger IPA, New Belgium's IPA line, hashtag live rangerously. Oh, look at that. And I don't know if all you maniacs have been noticing, their social media has been hilarious recently. They got videos and a lot of parody, but people like parody, especially when they're all stuck at home. It's good fun. And what are you drinking, savoring,
This is the usual. This is the higher plane. I've been drinking this the last few weeks. I need to go make a run or hit up our lovely contacts over there because this is my next to last one, and I can't have that.
Oh, yeah. Penultimate is another word for less.
Ooh, yeah, it is.
But thank you for joining us. We are not coming to you from Studio 2 and 2. We are coming to you from elsewhere. But look, so many of us, so many things to talk about. We're going to get started already with the intros. But before that, make sure, if you haven't already, to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and make sure you don't miss another episode ever. And we'll go in reverse from last week, and I'll just start off because I got not a lot going on. I am at Loud and Brown on Twitter and Instagram. If for some reason you want to play me in fighting games or shooters, I am at GrossStuff with a PH. All I played this week, Street Fighter and Overwatch. Shocking. And we'll go in reverse order to make sure our lovely guest is last. Up top to the baseball cap.
Would that be I? Would that be I, the Saverings? ... Hello. Find me on Steam, which is where I'm posting to right now, in our Saltier podcast Steam group. Get some gaming on. That's pretty much where I am. Other than that, I'm lurking, and you don't know where the hell I am. As far as what I've been playing, like last week, it's a list. It's a list. I actually have to look it up. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds here to look it up on Steam. I actually have to look to see what I've been playing. Besides a little bit of Super Mario 3D Land on my Switch. I'm not playing that as much as I would, but that's no fault of the game. It's excellent. It's just I've been playing a lot of VR, jumping in and out of games. I tried to watch some more Dota 2 in VR. It's just broken. There's something going wrong with it. I tried to play some Borderlands 2 in VR. Also, it's a great game, but also broken.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Dota 2 is not unlike League. It's a 3/4 top-down, right?
Yes, it's a 3/4 top-down MOBA. Yeah, very much like League. Same type of mechanics, same kind of setup, just kind of a different presentation, a little bit different art style. Yeah, it's like Quake to Unreal Tournament. You know what I mean? Like same thing but different. What else I play? I played some Gorn, which in a lot of circles was a game of the year type game for VR. It's basically like a first person like gladiatorial battle thing. I played Eagle Flight, which is a Ubisoft game where you're flying around a post-apocalyptic Paris as an eagle, like doing like missions and stuff. It sounds goofy, and it kind of is, and it's kind of basic, but it's also kind of fun. They did a good job with that. Boneworks does not work. That's a game made by the guys over at Corridor Digital. They also have a gaming little section that they do off to the side, and this is like their kind of physics game they made on the side. I can't get that to work though. A couple other games, 1976, which is a thing. Remember the old arcade game? It's back, but it's in VR, and that's pretty much been it. And a little bit of Switch, like I said earlier, some Super Mario 3D Land. But that's pretty much been it. Bobby Stills, what you been playing? You been playing anything?
Yeah, same things last week. Pretty much VR stuff. I've learned a little bit more of how to of controlled some of the games a little bit more. Still playing Tomb Raider, super fun. Talked a lot about free to play games. And then I started playing. Actually, I talked about this game before on this podcast, but Bridge Builder. They came out with a newer one. So I've been playing Bridge Builder, and I'm not very good at it, but it's a huge waste of time, but I enjoy wasting my time on that game. It's very frustrating, and there's been a couple, I don't game very much, and most of the games I play, gaming is for me is supposed to be like a relaxation time just to chill out and focus and have some fun. But now with these VR games and this Bridge Builder, it's boiling, makes my blood boil. I get so angry and want to break controllers, and that reminds me of the old me. So I don't know if I should be playing these types of games. So
a game I would say if you're messing around with VR would be, have you heard of this game called Moss? Is that what do you have? What do you have, an Oculus? Yeah, I think it's on the Oculus store. It's definitely worth playing. I think I brought it up on the show before. When I first played it, I was saying it could have been like a Game of the Year contender, and in some places it was a Game of the Year nominee, right next to, like, I don't remember what was big that year, but basically short story, like elevator pitches. It's The Secret of Nim, made by Pixar in VR. That's pretty much the pitch of the game. So if you do have access to a VR unit and it has that game on it, that'd be one I would suggest to try.
All right, over to you, Sage.
I played Dead by Daylight, Overwatch, Grounded. They've added mosquitoes, which is terrifying as shit.
Sage, is that what you're gonna be playing today after the show?
It will not, because I have not switched out the graphics card. So right now, Grounded is not a good choice.
Grounded is grounded.
Grounded is grounded. There's too many assets at my spawn right now for my computer to handle it.
Oh.
So assets, too many items, essentially, like the floors, the walls, the lights. That's just too much. My computer can't handle it.
Yeah, it's not very well optimized as of yet.
I'm debating on what to play still. I'm staring at it. What do I got? I can
all
play.
right.
Vince and I can play Overwatch.
Always playing Overwatch.
We can get him some of his loot boxes or whatevs.
His surprise mechanics.
Or I can try to finish out Resident Evil 0.
Nice.
I haven't played it yet, but I have Valheim.
That game is trending hard. There's a couple people in my close gaming groups that are playing that.
What game again? Sorry?
It's called Valheim. It is you're a Viking, survival builder. You can have dedicated servers, so that's cool. So
think Minecraft with Vikings, but more like a more modern looking RPG. Actually, I saw it hit like third or fourth on Steam, like the highest played game, and hit like 500,000 people today or something.
Yeah, I was gifted it by someone in a completely different community, because it was just, we were all chatting. I'm like, oh, I can't do it on this paycheck. All of a sudden it was like boom, and I was like, oh god, why?
Yeah. So how'd you like it? Or you said you haven't played it yet?
I haven't played it. All I did was character creation.
Okay.
And that's as far as I've gotten.
Nice.
And then to our guest.
Howdy, Vince here. I've been around a couple of times. Yay! At DARKAIN MX on Twitter is the best place to find me. I've been working on the Synthwave game a little bit lately, so I'm back to playing around with that. So at Synthwave game on Twitter, if you want to listen to me rant about game development stuff. But what I've been playing lately, I'm going to break your news cycle a little bit here. It's not actually in the notes. I'm going to talk about a game that was announced and released the same day. I've been playing the Blizzard Arcade Collection actually this week. So they re-released a bunch of 30-year-old games like Rock and Roll Racing, and I freaking love Rock and Roll Racing. And so it's like a widescreen mod that's really, really awesome. And then the other thing is, like, gaming isn't always a playing thing. It sometimes is a spectating thing, like especially in the Twitch community and everything like that. You want to watch others. So I watched probably the most expensive game ever made this week, which was Mars Perseverance Lander, the best AR game ever made.
Yeah.
How many billions of dollars did it take to have a little robot flying on another planet?
I believe the person that actually landed that rover is actually from Seattle, Washington. It's a
nice.
girl. and she's from a graduate from UW, and she manned the sticks. So shout out to her.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
You ready, Derek? We're gonna start the show.
No, we're good. We're super good. Sorry, I was not expecting. I realized that DARKAIN is a returning guest, but it was a shorter intro than I was expecting, and then I was also trying to be sly and private message Bobby Stills about some of the levels. But
yeah, sorry, I haven't played much this week. It's a lot, like Sage said, it's been a lot of Overwatch and a lot of watching the videos, which we're going to get into here in a bit.
Cool. Well, then the first thing we're actually doing before any of the big cons or the tournaments or anything, we're going to kick it off to Saverings ... who has news headlines, and that's what we're starting with.
Yeah. Well, we got two, I believe, here. Isn't that right, Bobby Stills? Do you want to start off with that? With that Google there getting slapped? Google getting slapped with the class action lawsuit here. Well, basically, this went down. I mean, we've discussed this on the show before. We'll catch everyone up who hasn't. Basically, Google Stadia, in case you haven't seen the really annoying, what's that guy's name with the fro? Reggie Watts or whatever his name is, with the really, really loud commercials. And you're like, I guess that's a video game commercial. This is Google's online streaming, because streaming is the future. It's the future, you guys. Streaming is the future online game streaming service, which I do have some friends who do play on it, have messed around on it, and they said overall in general it's not that bad. It's not as bad as people say, but it's nothing like what they promised, and that is the problem here. They're being hit with a class action lawsuit, which is filed in the Eastern District Court in New York, and it's not just against Google, it's also against Bungie and id Software, is id. The makers of Doom and things like this. But basically, they're getting sued because a lot of them, these three companies in particular, said that the Google Stadia will have 4K 60 streaming. I think we talked about that on the show. Like, yeah, okay. But it's Google. Like, if anyone could pull it off, it's them. But that didn't, obviously that didn't pan out. So yeah, they're getting slapped with the old class action lawsuit there. A lot of people saying that they were sold a bill of goods and didn't get what they were promised, and feel as though Google should be made to pay for it in court one way or the other. So
quick question about that. So they're getting sued over the BS 4K streaming, but they're not getting a class action lawsuit over claiming that it had negative latency. Because that was their marketing. Their marketing was legitimately negative latency. Anyway, just wanted to say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, discussed amongst you guys. I mean, I do remember we spoke about this on the show previously. What do you guys, does this surprise anyone who was there before? Any of our viewers who might have heard previous episode, that previous episode? Does this surprise anyone? Does this whole Google Stadia thing just seems to be more trouble than it's worth for Google? Like, they just kind of went in half-assed, promised a lot, went in half-assed, and now it's just burning them. This is a week after we just reported that they laid off all of their first-party development studios. Actually, 2 weeks after. And last week we reported that they laid them all off without telling them. They laid them all off like the week before that. They were like, everything's fine. Not even a week before, 3 days before. They said, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Phil Harrison, it's fine. And they found out at the same time we did that they all got laid off. So
did you cover the Celeste developer as well?
We covered the Terraria. I don't know.
Was Terraria? Was it Terraria or Celeste?
It was Terraria. I'm not sure if we covered them though. Terraria. I'm not sure if we covered them on the show. You want to bring them up to that real quick? This is also Google Stadia related. Yeah,
basically TLDR is I forget which developer was. You might be right on which one it was.
It was Terraria, dude.
Google just canned their developer account, so they can't publish games.
And what that means is, you think about Google, they have all their docs, all their Google Drive stuff, all their emails for their business, all their AdSense stuff, their YouTube channel. They just ate all that. They just ate it and just didn't explain why. And just they said he violated some terms of agreement or something like that, but didn't do anything about it. Didn't even give him another hearing or another look into it or anything. So Terraria is a pretty big game, you guys. It's been pretty big since it's been out. Like, I don't know, that game's kind of old now. What, 8 or 9 years old now? It's kind of a big deal. That's like the next runner-up to Minecraft in its genre, basically.
Yeah, like 2D Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the developer of that game, and that game's on everything. It's ubiquitous. It's on everything. It's on all your consoles. It's on your PC. It's on your phone. It's on everything. So yeah, the Google Stadia version of that is what spawned that. And the guy said, what did he say? It's detrimental to it's detrimental to business to do business with Google is basically what he was quoted as saying. So yeah, it's all a big hot mess. What do you guys think?
Bold statements. Sagebell, DARKAIN, thoughts on Stadia as a whole?
You own a phone, don't you? Oh wait, that's Blizzard.
That's Blizzard. We'll get to them.
Hold on.
We'll get to them.
Sick burn. So for my 2 cents on this, it seems like the big tech companies are really trying to cash in on all this, right? We're not talking about just Stadia. We're talking about Facebook gaming. I know Amazon Games. Without naming names, I have like 3 friends part of that department, and it's not even, a big thing yet, but everybody's investing into it because they think that's the future.
But you have to do it well, though. All 3 of these companies are just stepping in it. So that's the key. You have to do it well.
I can't wait till the grandpa tech companies jump in. Like, where's the Yahoo gaming department? And where's,
Microsoft Mixer.
Bring it back.
Yeah, Saverings ... threw him under the bus a couple weeks ago.
Newgrounds. Like, what's up with Newgrounds? What if Newgrounds comes back and takes over?
What is Newgrounds?
Bobby Stills, I'm calling it right here. We're gonna see the Tiger Direct Gaming organization.
Yeah. I mean, but I also think, you guys, I don't know if it was last week you discussed that, but like free to play games is like, if a lot of these, listen, I went to where was I eating at? Hold on, where was I eating at? I was eating at a place and they had a tablet on the table where you could play games on the tablet for like your kid while you're sitting there. Totally separate platform. It's not Apple games. It's not connected to, it's not Amazon. It's its own little gaming platform with all these different types of games that are pretty cheap to play. So a lot of people are going to start streaming some of these free to play on these separate platforms, and maybe they'll shit on them, maybe they won't. But I don't see what the problem is of getting into gaming for any of these bigger tech companies. They have the budgets, and maybe they'll make a hit.
It ain't about the money.
Look what happened with Fortnite, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just like came out of the blue, boom, took over the fucking world. So that's all they need is one fucking Fortnite, and they hit pay dirt.
Yeah, but all the rest of the times they fall flat on their face like this. I don't know.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
they got the money to do that.
Yeah, plus this is Google. We all know it's going to go in the Killed by Google website. There's a spot already reserved for it before it even launched. This is going right. Just launch it right into the graveyard.
Okay, so just one quick note on that: the guy who actually runs that has a betting pool for when Stadia is going to die.
Oh yeah,
there is actually a public betting pool that I'm a part of for that he's hosting right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I believe it. I bet you Vegas is taking those odds. I bet you they are. I bet you somewhere, some casino, someplace, they're taking the odds on it.
So You're saying that there is a Stadia Deadpool?
Yes.
Very much.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, heck, chime in we're on the YouTube and Twitch and Facebook chats, Maniacs. Chime in with your thoughts on big tech and gaming, but we do need to move on to your next topic there, Saverings ... Can you kick it? Can you kick it?
What we got?
Yes, he can.
What we got, Bobby? Oh, this one. I don't really know. This is mine. This all you, Sage?
Yeah. So Animal Crossing New Horizons is adding Mario-themed items this month. Essentially, you get the Mario characters. We're hoping Waluigi's one of them. I'm not positive though. That's what I know.
They like teasing us with the Waluigi. You never get them.
They have Wario. I saw that for sure. So I've seen Luigi, Wario, Peach, and Wario for sure in the trailer, and then I don't remember anything else because I don't play Animal Crossing. I just thought it was cool.
So that picture you just showed, the warp pipes are functional in game. You see with the warp pipe there, you place 2 warp pipes or more, and you can actually warp from one part of your island to another, which is really freaking awesome.
What's it take to build them? Is it like some crazy crafting you got to do?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
I will say one thing. I think it's pretty dope that when DARKAIN says that, it sounds like war pipes and not warp pipes.
What's the difference? I mean, piranha plants come out of them and they eat you and kill you. So, I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah, that is war.
I mean, and actually, if you think about it, it's a game like Super Mario 3D World. At the beginning, Mario's in the Mushroom Kingdom. He goes down into the warp pipe, ends up in wherever he's got to go rescue whatever, little fairies or whatever. And he pretty much genocides everyone in there by the time you beat the game. So it kind of is a warp pipe.
Confirmed. Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
War pipes.
I mean, is it anybody still out there playing Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is huge, dude. It's
still
stupid.
the thing.
It's stupid how big that game is. It's really and considering it's only on one thing, it's only on like a DS, it's only on a Switch, and for it to be that big, it's kind of ridiculous. Like I don't even know how. I mean,
most of the people I know, they only bought their Switch for Animal Crossing.
Its attachment rate is crazy.
Not everybody.
Like it's crazy. You figure there's like 60 million Switches. Like that game sells like 20 or 30 million copies. That means like, like one out of every other, like every other Switch owner has that game. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing on the DS too. Sold like 40 million copies and there's like 90 million DSs. Like half the people had one. That's crazy.
All right. I think I got one more topic here. Russ, I think this is yours right here.
Oh, it's Zelda. So that's anybody can talk about that.
I can pipe in on this one. I'm stoked for this. This is one of the games I was waiting for on the Switch because I missed this on the Wii. On the Wii, I played Twilight Princess. Love that game, and by the time that came out, I was already like deep into my PC phase, and I kind of missed this one. So on my Switch, before I even bought it, I was like, if that game's up for the Switch, I'll probably get one. So to see this get announced, I'm stoked, and it works with the waggle controls too, so you can aim and swing your sword just like you could on the Wii version. So I'm stoked for that.
And the custom Joy-Con too look really freaking cool.
Yeah, I might have to pick those up. I just might.
Nintendo just printed money.
Yeah. These want to have the Joy-Con drift fixed on them or what?
Well, no. Are they ever going to fix that?
No.
I mean, did you see that Sony has a class action against them now too?
I was going to say that. Yes, Sony's got the Joy-Con drift. Their controller is weird. Have you ever like long-term game? Do you have a PS5, don't you, Vince?
I own a PS2 and that's it. I'm not that branch. I'm old school.
Long-term
you have
gaming.
Everything Nintendo.
Oh, what up, JB? Long-term gaming, a PS5 controller, it wears on you. It makes your shoulders hurt. You got to get up and move around because you have to hold it. You can't just hold it in your hand like an Xbox or like a Switch controller or any other controller. You have to like kind of like grip it between your hands and kind of like you hold it together by holding your hands together. Because the way that it's rounded, it's not really made for you to hold it from the bottom. You kind of have to hold it from the side, and you have to it's kind of exhausting. But for them to have issues with their controller, it's supposed to be this like high tech thing, and it's the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. The controllers are kind of flaky. Jick down there in chat can testify because it's his PlayStation controllers that we mess around with. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Without going too much of a tangent, right? Because these controllers just make things tougher for people that are used to, like me, I'm used to fight sticks. A lot of us here PC game and keyboard and mouse has been like the gospel, right?
Yeah.
So ever since the Wii, the original Wii, people have been trying to switch up, right? Like
everything.
Like the gameplay, like has anything ever become like, the new zeitgeist, like this is the new way to gaming? I think everybody's trying, but not really.
It's happened a few times. It hasn't really happened too much recently because if you go back, I mean, you look at, first of all, you got the classic Atari controller. That kind of changed everything. And then that was a standard. And then you had Nintendo came out of nowhere with their sideways controller, a start and a select button, a cross pad. Like, what the hell? And then I'd probably say, what was the next big one after that? Was probably like
Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis was still kind of derivative of the Nintendo controller, though.
I would believe that too.
It was sideways with the D-pad. I'd probably say like the GameCube controller.
No, N64.
Ah, there you go.
Because
N64
introduced the analog stick. It introduced Rumble.
And the trigger and the trigger button too.
Well, no, the SNES had LNR.
Yeah, it did, but like the N64 had the joystick and like the trigger behind it. So like for GoldenEye, it was like one of those games where it actually had like a Z button for like shooting an actual gun. Yeah. GameCube controllers for the win. I still have like 9 of those. I still use them.
That said, these are cool. I think they're more trouble for its worth. That said, I think it's good that people are thinking differently because we have to progress, right?
Mm.
Otherwise, you get dumbasses like me that are like, stick it.
Yeah, but I mean, So, but if you think about the Wii controllers or the Switch controllers, right? That's kind of what everything's moving towards when it comes to VR. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I would say it goes from N64. We'll give an honorable shout out to the GameCube controller, and then it'll probably go up to the Wii. And I'd say like the Wii was like the last like big revolution. You know what? Honorable mention also to the Wii U, because the Wii U controller turned into the Switch. So that's kind of spawned its own thing.
Nintendo, baby.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Got a video here for you guys. I think Russ is going to comment on it.
Oh, well, I've been watching and attempting to play a lot of this, the actual game. There's a Netflix series coming out. You know what? And somebody brought this up. I got to give the shout out to this. This is to my boy Bondo that I work with. That's his name there on Steam. He brought up a good point. Valve can't count to 3. You know, there's no Left 4 Dead 3. There's definitely no Half-Life 3. There's no Portal 3. Netflix is known for only going 2 seasons with most of their shows. So is that why Valve signed with Netflix? Because they knew at the most they'll get 2 seasons, right? There's not going to be no 3rd season of Dota because Valve can't count to 3, and neither can Netflix usually.
So meta.
So I think that was a good coincidence. I can't take credit for that. Once again, that's my boy from work. But yeah, it looks interesting.
Can't even count.
That's true. Xbox can't count at all. Yeah, they think everything's a serial number. But yeah, so you guys like, and it looks pretty good. It's actually made by the writers from X-Men First Class and Thor, and the animation studio is somebody good. I forgot who though. It's somebody good, like who does like actual good ad. I want to say Studio IG or somebody like that. They're actually a really good studio, so it could be interesting. We'll see. This is Dragon Knight. Actually, he's probably the character that you start off with. Actually, he is the character you start off with when you play the tutorial, and he's a pure strength build. So if you're just into a game where if you want to play a character that's like pretty straightforward and you're tanky and you hit really hard and turn into a dragon and do damage, he is a good character. So I can see why they kind of start the anime off with him, because he is kind of your starting point in the game as well.
Dragon's blood.
Yeah, interesting. Keep an eye out for that. That's about it. That's all I got.
Well, heck, chime in once again. Twitch, YouTube. Do you care about? Well, you know, they might care because the World of Warcraft movie did pretty good. So maybe the Dota show will do well.
It's got a good pedigree to it.
Yeah, Witcher did pretty well. Well, pretty well is probably an understatement. But we're going to move on to the part where I rant a little bit. And it's not going to be so much because the videos I have up they're pretty niche and they're not that exciting, especially because our big topic is so exciting. But London, can you please run Guilty Gear? Because we're going to get into FGC. We had a roundtable from Japan, which is a really adorable thing. All these companies come together, Namco, Capcom, Arc Systems, and they all talk about fighting games in general. And this is Arc Systems' work, their new game, Guilty Gear Strive, where they're putting out starter guides per character, basic mechanics and movement, and look on screen, and they're doing it nice and slow with a voiceover, and it's beautiful, and it's actually like a really cool example of how in tune this company is with their fan base. They were good a decade and a half ago when they released the game Guilty Gear Accent Core. They got together with a fan-based website called Dustloop, and they put out materials to help people get used to the game because Guilty Gear is notorious for being very, very difficult to learn. Thank you, London. Also, that's my favorite new character. Her name is Giovanna. She is Brazilian, and she has a doggo.
Can I just say, like, the artwork in this game and their games in general, I think is like top notch, like uncomparable to anything else in the industry.
I almost zoned out while you were talking, just looking at the
it is so gorgeous.
It's crazy. And you know, they're running because of companies like Automata Lista, and I'll even give credit to Street Fighter 4. They crawled so that Guilty Gear can like run, because Capcom was the first one to really fall on the sword and move from 2D to 3D, because fighting games other than Soul Calibur and Tekken haven't been as successful. So in comparison to that Arc Systems trailer, I want Lynn to queue up what Street Fighter has been offering, and it makes me so sad that Capcom just doesn't seem to get it as much. And they have these kind of, this is so similar to what is just in-game as a tutorial. And there's no voiceover. It's just blank music. And it's this slow. And it just shows people using the mechanics. And it, you know, you have to kind of squint a little bit if you're looking in this, you know, if you're looking at a YouTube video and it's not while you're playing the game. Like, it's so bizarre. And this isn't the only game that released stuff. Like I said, the whole FGC community put out stuff.
There was a Tekken character, not quite announcement. Was it like a sneak peek?
It's a teaser because Sage Bell, we were at Evo together, and do you remember what Harada, his big point to his fans, he loves to tell them?
Got nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Wait. I'm back. I got something to say. No, that's it.
He does that, but he also makes sure he tells people. I think when we were there in 2019, he had a shirt that said this: "I don't owe you shit." And the feed on his teaser video was so toxic, and all the hardcore fans are like, Harada doesn't owe you shit. Like, he tells everybody all the time, the teaser is all you get, and all these other companies are like, here's new characters, here's new stages, here's new mechanics. Conclusion to what I'm saying about the FGC as a whole, I'm excited about Arc System Works, Guilty Gear. They're doing it right. They're in touch with the fans. They focused on netcode and rollback. Street Fighter didn't announce anything about netplay. And actually, neither did Dragon Ball, but maybe they did. Goon's not here to say otherwise. And, you know, like I said, Goon's not here. Does anybody have anything else to say about the fighting game stuff that happened over this weekend? Which is a weird time to do this because it was BlizzCon, and that's a lot of attention to fight over.
I mean, the Mortal Kombat trailer dropped and it looked dope as fuck, but that's about it.
That Mortal Kombat trailer is fire.
And I'm also hearing that Monster Hunter actually was decent. Like, I heard a lot of people were like, "You should watch Monster Hunter," and I heard
the CG portion good, the acting portion bad.
Okay, but in general, like, was it shit, or was it like a Resident Evil where it's like so bad it's good almost?
I like the Resident Evils.
Me
but
too.
I haven't rewatched them as an adult, so I don't know if I do like them.
Okay, but I've heard from more than one person that it's worth watching that movie.
Ooh.
So what's going on with video game movies? Why are they suddenly not all the way garbage anymore? Like, what happened?
We talked about that a little bit last week. DARKAIN, I don't know if you agree, but we cumulatively agreed that Sonic and Pokemon, you know, Detective Pikachu were not trash.
There was another one too. What was it? There was one that came out like 2 years ago.
World of Warcraft?
Yeah, World of Warcraft.
No,
because World of Warcraft I thought was decent too. I like that one.
It's an okay movie. I wouldn't.
Wasn't terrible though. Like
yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it was the most predictable thing I've ever watched.
It wasn't Blood Rain. I'll put it that way, or whatever else. Just pick one.
But I mean, since we're talking about
Tomb Raider,
World of Warcraft, Tomb Raider, yeah, Tomb Raiders are good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Tomb Raider movies.
They're not terrible.
Wait, we're talking Angelina Jolie or the new ones?
The new one. The new one, singular, I guess.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie ones are kind of like incredibly misogynistic and painful to watch.
Yeah. They're a little dated. They were kind of dated when they came out, though, to be honest.
Yeah. We did have BlizzCon over the weekend, so, you know.
We did. And before we start that topic, just to re-up, I don't know if the Maniacs are getting moist with us. I'm celebrating it National Margarita Day, but we are sponsored and brought to you by Voodoo Ranger IPA, New Belgium's very own IPA line. Thank you, Lauren. We adore it. Keeps us lubricated. Hashtag live dangerously. Remember, it's B Corp certified and employee owned. And in lieu of Stadia news, in lieu of fighting games and video game movies, we have one of the bigger conventions of the video game universe that went fully digital this year, but that does not mean it didn't have impact. We are talking about, drumroll.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to be nice during this.
That's the best ending to a drum roll.
Drum roll and
That was epic.
Yeah, we're gonna crop that. Whoever wants to announce the topic, let's go with.
You want to do the Overwatch one, don't you? Let's start with that one. You guys are most excited for that because it's everyone 3/4 do it. So who wants to talk about this?
So first off, Blizzard renamed BlizzCon to BlizzConLine. Amazing little pun there. Yeah, and so they didn't really talk much about the current game Overwatch, but they talked a lot about Overwatch 2. And a lot of the talk was less about playing the game and more about the experience of the game. So they were talking about the revamped game engine with the new audio engine, the new weather effects engine, all the PvE stuff. They're showing some of the new gameplay abilities right now that they're experimenting with in the video. But a lot of it was more like it's not carrying through in the videos because it's the new audio engine that they're really showing. They went out to like this desert in the middle of nowhere and actually fired real guns with microphones all over the place, and they're adding all sorts of new environmental audio techniques. So like when you're in a hallway, you can hear you get the reverb of a hallway, but when you're in a big open area, the guns actually sound different because the way the audio is bouncing off the different things.
And DARKAIN, that's like very Battlefield, right? Battlefield is notorious for guns.
How dare you? How dare you?
No, the developers actually talked about that. So during some of the panels, the developers talked about in the 5 years since Overwatch was announced initially that the FPS genre has just accelerated with the number of games out there and the amount of tech. Oh, there's May and her little snowball there, which is amazing.
We got a Borderlands skill tree. You see that?
Yeah, so for PvE, there's a skill tree. So you'll get to level up your characters and you'll get different abilities.
Yo, that's like Team Fortress 2 right there.
Yeah, like this is getting insane. All the cool stuff that they're adding to the to the non-competitive style of Overwatch. And one of the developers actually talked about that specifically, where he loves playing comp, but his friends don't. And so now there's like a single game that they can play together, and they don't have to have that stress of being in a competitive environment where they can just goof off and have fun and just go shoot bots all day long. But they mentioned there's going to be over 100 different character like story missions. So there's just going to be like tons and tons of replay content what they're working on right now.
And anyone who ever was a Symmetra main in the past, you'll be able to redo your Symmetra build to be the classic like 3 to 6 turrets is what I read. And
Maniacs, if you're not familiar with this is in the community known as the car wash. Full car wash, baby. And it feels good when you do it, but when you get caught in it, it's infuriating. It makes me so mad. I'm excited. That's about the total I could say. The visual updates are cool. They almost feel like just skins.
That's Widowmaker.
I see some
Widowmaker. It's a lot more than the skins.
I seen some Widowmaker porn, yo.
Yeah, there's plenty.
She had her sniper rifle and everything.
What I mean is visually per character, like, they're like, oh yeah, we did a big update. I'm like, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I really want to play with the new characters, but the PvE is a lot of fun. Every time they introduce it, so I'm excited for Overwatch 2. I really am.
Why the black girl got to be named Sojourn?
Stop! I can't.
All right, so that
it looks really cool. So see what this guy's got to say about it.
Shit! Oh god damn it!
I sensed a disturbance. My 3090 visions have shown me an increased level of dried ejaculate on a bunch of body pedals with Mercy on them. And I can't stand for this anymore. Blizzard, get your shit together. No one wanted recycled games. We wanted new shit. And that's why you'll always be a second place competitor to Bethesda 100% of the time.
Whoa.
Couldn't
Shots
fucking
fired.
get me PvP on Diablo 3. Couldn't make Diablo 4, so you just redid Diablo 2. Bravo. You showed me that your audience is full of goddamn smooth-brained chimps that will buy anything with safe and predictable IPs. Nothing motivating. Nothing extremely innovative. The same old recycled shit since 1999. Get your shit together, Blizzard.
We'll try. I mean, I hope they do.
It's
99 was a good
Activision.
year, though.
It's
They never
Activision
do.
Blizzard.
And let me tell
But
you,
you have a cell phone, don't you?
I'm not even gonna fucking acknowledge that fucking comment because it's fucking garbage and Blizzard knows it. Time's ticking, Blizzard, before your studio goes under.
Mm.
I
Maniac.
don't know. I think they're printing money right now. I mean,
To those that aren't in the know, Maniacs, we have just been graced
feel
with
dirty.
the presence of the
feel
only CYBOMAN.
I feel dirty.
Obviously, CYBOMAN has
opinions.
feelings.
Yeah.
Opinions.
Yeah, and we were
Opinions.
talking about Widowmaker or whatever her name is. I was talking about the Widowmaker porn I saw.
Cybo Monday.
It
Oh,
was a mercy.
Nice.
But you know, he's not wrong. You know, he comes from the gaming universe. He understands and he knows when people are revamping stuff. And
Okay, to be fair, he compared it to Bethesda that has how many rehashed games? I mean, Microsoft literally bought them, or whatever, ZeniMax or whatever their name is, just for all the rehashes and all the
Yes.
IP.
Yes.
So, I mean, they just have more of it.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He was kicking facts. I mean, this is one thing we were going to talk about in the show, and he actually, spit facts. So
Yeah, so we got the Diablo 2 remake, and if you
Speaking
get
of that,
into about 44 seconds, you'll see the comparison of what it looks like before and after.
I have a comment for when this is over. You guys, don't let me forget my comment, okay? But I will sit through this again.
I played a fuck ton of Diablo 2 because that
Same.
was like prime teen years. Like I played a lot of Diablo 1 too, but Diablo 2 was like
The shit.
first like you're playing online with other people. People weren't power leveling like how Diablo 3 is, and it kind of just makes it like Diablo 3 became unplayable for me. But look how beautiful this like remake is. And I played the shit out of that sorceress and the little bit out of the Amazon, but the sorceress was my babe.
was that God of War in there?
Kratos, it looked like Kratos.
Was that
The
Kratos?
barbarian.
It's the barbarian.
That,
My Uncle
Holy
John was
shit.
always the barbarian, my dad was always the paladin, and then I was always like the sorceress or the Amazon. The Amazon, you can have like javelin spears that you throw that are poison imbued.
Good stuff.
I don't know if we have a Diablo 4 thing as well, but I have a little bit more to talk about on Diablo 4 than I do 2. But
I got a lot of stuff on Diablo 2. That's all I've been watching.
you're ready for Diablo 2.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm already telling a couple of friends I'm buying it for them just so we can play together.
Hold your horses there.
Played
still-
the
they still
crap
haven't-
out of that.
They still haven't reforged Warcraft 3 reforged yet. I'm waiting for Warcraft 3 reforged because they totally botched that. So based on that, I don't know about
StarCraft
this.
though. StarCraft 1.
Diablo 2's coming out this year. It's already done. It's just getting its final touches. Little
On
polish.
top of that, Warcraft 3, nobody cared about Warcraft at that point anyway.
Who
What?
cares about Warcraft anyways?
People jumped from Warcraft 2 to World of Warcraft. Warcraft 3 was just kind of like it was caught in the mix of everything else Blizzard was doing.
But
Well-
that
It was just
introduced
confusing like
the
that.
heroes.
You could say whatever, but that was maybe the worst remaster in the history of remasters. So they're coming fresh off of that. So
technically no, because they just released the arcade collection this week as well. That is now their most recent refresh.
I get okay.
And
All
that's
right,
pretty
fine.
awesome.
Okay, but I'm still not gonna forget. Never forget. Hashtag never forget. Warcraft 3 reforged. Because they are they even reforging it? I don't know what they did with that game. Anyway,
Ooh,
we
is
got?
this Diablo 4 is this the Rogue announcement?
so I'm just throwing it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Like, yes, that looks cool, but remember, never forget Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Okay, so this trailer is pretty cool because it's the announcement of the rogue class, which was a playable character in the first game and a hireable character, so you can use them as like a helper character in the second game, and then they didn't exist in the third game. And so this is going to be an actual character class in the game, and it just looks so cool. And they're re-implementing from the second game because the second game was just so much better than the third game. That you get the chop off ears. So like if the ear collection that will eventually be in this trailer, spoiler alert. It is when you kill other players, you get their ear, and so you can collect people you kill's ears.
It's part of the the bragging rights of PvP.
Mm-hmm. And they have PvP like arena areas, so you don't have to PvP anywhere in game. It's like you have to go to a specific area where you want to fight somebody. They also like the rogue will have the ability to imbue any of their abilities with like poison or ice, and so there's like these cool like you can do like ice arrows essentially that rain down on your enemies, and you can like burst through, or do like poison arrows, or you can combo with a sorceress and like double up your attack. Or is it wizard in 3, 4? I think it's sorceress.
Either way, it's awesome. They're adding a ton of crap to this game. It looks really, really freaking awesome.
I hope it is.
So
I honestly hope it is.
So I didn't watch the day 2 talks. I don't know if the Blizzard devs expanded from day 1 on when release dates were going to be, and no?
Well,
okay.
Typical Blizzard, they don't give release dates. I'm actually surprised they did for the Diablo 2 remaster. Blizzard has always been of the opinion that they try to make something good. They don't care about a date because they don't want to, rush a game at the end or anything like that and release shit. Because the game will just live in infamy afterwards. I mean, we've seen this with like Cyberpunk, right?
What are you talking about? Cyberpunk was a totally complete releasable game. Right.
Well, hold on. To comment on that whole thing with Cyberpunk, whatever became of people that paid, $60, $65, $70 for that game, I got my money back. Let me just say that. I played it. I wasn't really happy with it. I got my money back. But then what? Like I don't know. After they started doing that, a month or two later, they started selling like the game for $20. Like, did they refund people like $40 back?
No, no way.
No,
nah.
They just charged people $60, and then they were like, "Oh well, now it's $20 after being released for 2 months."
Yeah, that happens.
That's just them admitting that they suck. But no, with Blizzard though, they don't like giving release dates. They never really have. Like I said, I was really surprised that Diablo 2 Remaster has a release date of in or before December. Is what they said, and that's right on the homepage for Diablo 2 right now, which is really freaking cool.
Wow!
So you'll be getting the mobile game and the Resurrected. So you get Immortals and Resurrected in 2021, according to Blizzard.
I'm waiting for Saverings ... to say it.
No.
Well,
go ahead. Vince has already said it a few times.
Several times. No, here's the thing, though. Sage and I have both played it as BlizzCon. It didn't suck. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was actually decent. And they've been running through the alpha test already. They had a public alpha, was it in December? And, it's positive everywhere. The only thing they messed up on when they announced it is that they did not announce Diablo 4 the same day. If they would have announced Diablo 4 the same day, nobody would have given a shit and everything would have been
true.
perfect.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all they had to do.
Right. They still got teased for the "do you not have phones" thing, but it wouldn't have been like on an island by itself to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So everyone would have been like, "Oh, they're making Diablo 4," even if it just had a logo or a name and that was it. And then they showed all the content of the other game, and they're like, "Okay, they're doing both in parallel. Awesome." And
what would have been brilliant if they did that on purpose and like trolled everybody with that, and then at the very end, they were like, "Oh," or like if they got everybody riled up.
Gears did that in E3. Remember, Gears had like their Funko Pop game that they made.
Yeah.
And like some other like spin-off game, and then at the very end they're like, "Oh, here's the main game. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
And that's how they should have done it, and it would have been perfect.
If they did that, they would have broke the internet doing that stuff. Yeah, but instead they broke the internet in a bad way.
Yeah.
So well, heck, we're all familiar with Blizzard at this point, and we are reaching that golden time of the podcast where we're getting to closing statements, my friends. So I think the easiest way to go about this is what you want. We'll keep it with Blizzard if that's okay with everybody.
Okay.
What you want from 2021 Blizzard because we're not getting Diablo 4 and we're not getting Overwatch 2. So what do you expect from them this year? And drop your handles, yada, yada, yada. We'll go with this thing.
Actually, let me go first because mine's quick.
Go for it.
All right. Well, first of all, the Blizzard I used to know, and I used to know them very well. I haven't seen them since, 2009, 2010. Wrath of the Lich King was the last time I saw a Blizzard that I recognized.
Blizzard North?
Yeah. That was the last I saw a Blizzard, a company that I recognized. And secondly, what I expect or want from them, honestly, like nothing, because it's irrelevant to me because I'm never installing Blizzard launcher on my computers ever again. I'm done with them. So they can come out with whatever. I hope it's good for the people that still play them. I hope and pray to God, I hope and pray to God that Diablo 2 is good because I know a lot of people that game does mean a lot. I get that. And my brother loves Diablo 2. That's all that kid played. And it's back in the day when we were playing like TIE Fighter and X-Wing and stuff like that. He was playing Diablo 2 and I watched him play. I didn't have to play it because I watched him just play the hell out of that game backwards and forwards. So for the people out there, I hope and pray it's good. And I hope you enjoy it and I hope it's great. But me personally, I don't really expect much from them. And Godspeed to everyone else. And rip Blizzard because to me they passed away in like 2009, 2010. So that's it. Who's next?
I mean, I think I'm pretty much on the same boat as Russ. I really don't play too many Blizzard games. I'm not a huge gamer like that, but Diablo 2 was a huge part of my college years. I mean, I failed a lot of classes because of that game. I mean, it got me seriously. I mean, it really got me. It really, and I might actually, that would be one game where I'd actually consider. How anti-PC I am. So I actually.
Well, it's on console too.
Yeah, but I think it's probably it's cross-platform too, right?
That's one thing we didn't cover. It is not cross-play, but it's cross-progression. It is cross-progression.
Okay. All right, I don't know. I'm psyched about Diablo 2 coming back out, and then I look forward to Diablo 4. But yeah, like I said, Diablo. I tried Diablo 3. No bueno. Yeah.
I meant to bring up real quick. I was crazy about the Diablo before any of the Warcraft stuff because I used to play when you remember Terraria on the Super Nintendo? Do you remember Three Angry Dwarfs on the Super Nintendo? I used to play those games and I really, really, really enjoyed those games. And that's when I think the first Warcraft came out and like some Diablo 1 came out like maybe a few years after that. But to me, I liked them because I felt like nobody really knew who they were and they released like 2 or 3 really good games in a row on the Super Nintendo and on the PC that nobody really saw. So I really liked that. And then to me, they kind of went downhill since then. They might have peaked with like Diablo 2 and like the first StarCraft and stuff like that, but I don't know. And just a shout out, I never brought up those old games of theirs, and those are on the arcade thing, aren't they? Those 2 games. The Lost Dwarves. That's what it is. The Lost. Dwarves.
No, it's Lost Vikings.
Lost Vikings. Yes.
It's Vikings and Blackthorn are the other 2 games.
Yes, Blackthorn. Torquen's by somebody else. Yeah, but Blackthorn. Yeah, that game was really, really good. I rented it on the Super Nintendo and I loved it.
So the arcade collection has the ROMs and remasters, by the way.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, that's it. Who's next?
That's a very good question. Kick it off, Russ. Who are you kicking it to?
Ladies first. What's up, Sage Bell?
Sup? Hey, it's me at Sage Bell on most places. If you can't find me at that, it's usually SageBell_model elsewhere. I guess I'm looking forward to the remastered Resurrected.
Nice.
Right, Diablo 2 Resurrected, because we all all of us basically grew up with that in some way or another. I'm a little bit younger, so I was definitely like, a little bit 20 years ago, I was not a teenager yet, but I still played it. So yeah, but I do have a question before the other two say their closing statements. To chat, since you're still here, we're gonna stay on a little bit longer after stream ends. What would you like to see me stream? I can play Valheim, Overwatch, Resident Evil 0. I'm not finished with that yet. Or I can play Dead by Daylight. So that's
If it's Overwatch, I might hop on. We'll see.
Can you? Can you?
Yeah. I have my gaming laptop. I have a gaming laptop with me. Yeah.
Did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Derek or Vince?
Not it.
Okay. So Vince.
All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. Well, yeah, as we were alluding to here, I'm not at home right now. I'm at Studio Mom. Had to take care of some personal life stuff, so I'm here at Studio Mom right now, but I did bring my gaming laptop. At DARKAIN MX on Twitter, at was it Synthwave Game, and for the Blizzard world, I will say this: I broke my tradition. I never ever pre-order games because I hate getting burned. Yes, I did. I've already paid for Diablo 2. The remaster of it. Oh, yeah, I see you shaking your head, but I've watched the panels. I've watched the devs talk. It was technically an in-house dev team that did it. The main guy in charge of the game, has only been in Blizzard for 2 weeks. They pulled people in and ran it like they used to run Blizzard North, which was technically a separate company that they
including some people off of the Warcraft 3 Reforged thing. I saw like they pulled people off that team and a couple other teams to this team. I thought. Like that, I read somewhere.
Possibly, but it comes down to direction and what they're doing with the engine and stuff like that, and what they're doing. Well, how they said they're actually implementing it. They're using the old engine still. It's still the original game engine. It is the original code unmodified, and they just put basically window dressing on top of it. It looks really freaking awesome. And then they fixed up like the netplay stuff. They talked about how they put in new BattleNet. So yeah, I'm 100% stoked about that.
Mark this down, Loud and Brown. When this comes out, let's have that episode.
We'll have a new episode.
It came out that day. Could you even get on the servers or whatever is going? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Okay, game servers going down. That happens every game. That has nothing to do with the game itself.
But still,
this is a note to the producers. We're talking to London, the producer dropping the double deucer, and the steeziest producer from the Buckeyes. I mean, from the Buckeye State that ever existed. Note episode 112. We're calling it. Write it down.
By the way, I'm technically from the Buckeye State too, so awesome.
Go Buckeyes, baby! That's why you're outnumbered today.
Akron,
you're out of here. Yeah, get that Michigander out of here. Buckeyes.
All right, Loud and Brown, what you got?
So, Maniacs, thank you for joining us. This has been episode 112. My closing statement is for Blizzard specifically. What I'm excited about is hopefully an update for lore on Anniversary and Archives, which is something they do every year, because that'll give us an idea of how much they've been working on the PvE element. At this point, I'm getting old, and a lot of my friends aren't really into the PvP thing. The toxicity online is pretty bad. If this goes free to play, it'll get even worse with Smurf accounts, etc. So when things go PvE, I have a lot of friends that love playing zombies on COD, people that, play Gauntlet in the arcades. Like, when you get all your friends against just the computer, there's, less to worry about. Like, you're in it together. Everybody wants to do well. And I'm excited for that. As long as they keep giving skins, more Anna skins, please. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think they're going to clean up if they add like lore and stuff to it. I think that's going to draw a lot of people in if that's well done.
So
like that's
one quick note they mentioned in the panels after all the releases is that they said any big piece of content they can bring into 1 from 2, they're going to try to backport things like before 2 even comes out, and that's why we have Echo.
Nice. And yeah, for example, recently they've started doing like physical comic books of the Tracer story. And Tracer is an LGBTQ character, and they got an artist and writer from that community also, Babs Tarr, and I cannot think of a better.
But can't she teleport though? Because if she can't teleport, she's not really representing. It's not really.
Babs Tarr cannot teleport.
Can she dual wield and teleport? Then
she's
I don't
fake.
believe it. Then yeah, she is.
Fake. But I love that, and the lore is what keeps people. The gameplay isn't everything. Like I don't like Call of Duty's lore is whatever. It's gun guy. Every game is just gun guy. So I'm excited for that. And if I don't know, StarCraft 3 comes out of nowhere, I'll be blown away, but probably not.
One quick thing on the lore. Everybody go check out the voice actor panel for Overwatch. Please go watch that panel. It's a little over an hour long. They talk about lore, but they talk a lot of just BSing and having a lot of fun.
Very, very cool. Thank you. Big shout out to DARKAIN for joining us on 112. Round of applause. And I don't know if you noticed, we got this system moving real good. London with a Y has been working overtime, earning those college credits from home. Thank you to that. And our other producers, Bobby Stills and Keith the Boogie. Big thanks, making this podcast beautiful. Remember to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as I always do with every episode recently, Sagebo, can you please announce to everybody when to catch your stream on Thursday?
Thursday nights, I play at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And catch me at twitch.tv/SageBell. I play cooperative survival games.
Woo! Thank you. This has been a production of the Soundcasting Network, brought to you by Voodoo Ranger. Thank you kindly. One love.
All right, so we're doing it different this time. So if you guys want to stick around and watch Sage play or comment on it, feel free to. But we kind of hacked StreamYard, so.
Oh, Rebecca.
So this is on Twitch.
I don't know where I'm going anymore. Look at my injured bodies.
You know what?
Mad.
That happens in every Resident Evil game. You don't have to apologize. Like, name a Resident Evil game where you don't wander around in the lobby for like 10 minutes. Like, that happens in every Resident Evil game at some point to everybody.
Sage, we don't have audio.
You don't have. Oh God! Oh!
Are you scared watching it? You already know what happened. Are you playing it right now?
DARKAIN, are you familiar with?
Room. Oh, I fucked up.
Are you familiar with the story of Code Veronica and how that happened?
No.
Well, all right, you guys. I'm gonna duck out. Good to see all y'all.
Share audio.
Bye, Russ.
So,
there we go.
I'm a Capcom shill, right? So the way this is a lot of East versus West and contract agreements and console generations, right? So Resident Evil 1 and 2 did gangbusters, obviously. Runaway hits.
Oh no.
You remember that, right?
Oh no.
DARKAIN?
What'd you do, Sage?
Oh no. My browser crashed.
You broke things?
Yeah.
I will be right back. Just keep talking. It's
Got
fine.
it. But DARKAIN, do you remember how big of a hit Resident Evil 1 and 2 were?
Yeah, kind of. I haven't really followed that franchise much, honestly. It's not been my thing.
Needless to say, it was very, very successful. And afterwards, Capcom, with their success and their money, started working on the next one. And they had one ready to launch, and they showed PlayStation, and PlayStation was like, we need 3 Resident Evil games for the PlayStation. And